and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBC Palm Springs.
Now on NBC Palm Springs at 6, a former nudist resort gets a new look. We're taking a closer look at the family-friendly getaway ahead.
Also tonight, mail-in ballots started rolling out today, sparking the conversation about how Proposition 50 will be voted on. We have more on the measure coming up.
Gorgeous night to see the harvest supermoon, but we do have rain coming up. All that in my full weather forecast. NBC Palm Springs at 6 begins now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Mester. A brand new family-friendly resort is now open in Palm Springs. That's tonight's top story. Casa Palma was once a nudist resort that shut down back in June of this year. Tonight, our Brett Rosen is live in studio with that story. Brett?
Mark, this morning was the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Casa Palma. And when speaking with new owners and residents who live nearby, this ceremony was about opening the doors to a place that welcomes everybody, clothing necessary.
3, 2, 1.
The Casa Palma Hotel, just over 5 months ago, was under different ownership and known as the Desert Sun Resort, a place where clothing was optional. Today, the new owners, Ryan and Rochelle Gillet, say the property's use as a nudist resort is no longer what was needed in the city.
It didn't really matter what it was. We saw the vision of what it could be, you know? So, you know, it's a very interesting part of this history. It's been this space has been a part of a nudist resort for 80 plus years. And, you know, what became clear was that use was no longer the highest and best use for the property.
From the outside, the property looks like a fortress. The tall bushes making it virtually impossible to peek over. The entrance is narrow as well. The hotel also stands by a residential area where residents say it's nice to have a more welcoming business come in.
It's a nice change for the neighborhood. There are other places around town, you know, nudist places. So I think it's nice to have a family-friendly place up on this end of town.
We're familiar that that's what was going on behind the walls, but so that's why we never ever peeked our heads in. There's nothing to, but we're so happy that it's turned into something beautiful that everyone can enjoy now.
Inside the resort, there is plenty of grassy areas, pickleball courts, pools, and games for everyone. Rochelle Gillet says the place is not just catering to families, but friend groups as well.
We have 3 young children and their own property, and it feels so easy with them here. We have a baby, he can crawl around in the grass. And so, yeah, there is something to be said about that, but I also picture it very much like a friend groups, right? You're like around the fire pit at the end of the night, or you're playing water volleyball with your best friend from college, you know?
Something to mention is Casa Palma is open to not just registered guests. The owners wanted to make it clear they wanted to be a place where people can come and enjoy the restaurant inside as well as the bar. Like I said, a place that welcomes everyone. You just have to wear clothes. Live in the studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you. Turning to some news across the region tonight, the control tower at Hollywood Burbank Airport went dark tonight. Officials say it's a direct result of air traffic controllers not being paid as they work during the ongoing government shutdown. Federal Aviation Administration officials confirmed the tower closed just after 4:15 p.m. this afternoon, leaving no controllers in place to guide takeoffs and landings. Pilots are instead using other radio frequencies to talk to controllers handling flights throughout Southern California. An FAA operations plan notes the Burbank Air Traffic Control Tower is one of at least a dozen nationwide dealing with staffing issues tonight.
Let's give you a live look outside our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage on this Monday evening. And before we get into the forecast, if you were joining us in the 5 o'clock hour, you met our newest weathercaster here on NBC Palm Springs. We're introducing him. Pablo Alsina is here with us, and we're very excited that you're here. Welcome to the Coachella Valley, and maybe we need all the viewers to send you some good restaurant recommendations, places to live, everything.
I still haven't decided where I'm going to live. I'm staying at Agua Caliente Rancho Mirage, beautiful hotel, so shout out to them, but I still have to decide where I'm going to live, and I'm really enjoying my time here. This is nice. I also like that it's not 115 degrees, which was the record high back in the day about exactly 1 year ago. Hourly temps with dew points, 91 degrees at 6 p.m., but the temperature's going to start going down, so make sure to go outside for a nice walk. It's the harvest supermoon, a beautiful night, no cloud coverage at all, so you're going to see the gorgeous moon. See the dew points going up to 38, then 39 by 10 p.m. Just a perfect night. Great time to be alive and to be in the desert, just soaking in the beautiful weather and that harvest supermoon. Almanac, this is what I mentioned earlier. 95 degrees is the normal for today, but back in 2024, 115 degrees. Just 1 year ago, 20 degrees higher. But back in 1932, it was 42 degrees. Freezing back in 1932. So I'm fine with 95 degrees, so much better than 115. And our high temperatures for tomorrow, Palm Springs at 97. I thought we were done with the triple figure heat, but look at Palm Desert at 99, a high almost reaching 100. Yucca Valley at 85, Cabazon at 90 degrees, the high for tomorrow. And our 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. See 97, 96, some cloud coverage coming in on Thursday. The rain, though, that's on Friday. I'll have all that coming up in my full forecast. I'm Pablo Alsina. Thank you, Palm Springs, for welcoming me. And please send me an email. Let me know where I should live. Back to Mark and Olivia.
All right, turning to some more local news this evening, the LGBTQ Community Center of the Desert launched an online survey today. It's a survey to better understand the experiences and needs of the Coachella Valley's LGBTQ+ population and help steer future community programs. Every Valley resident, full or part-time, who identifies as LGBTQ+, is encouraged to set aside 30 minutes in October to complete the survey. You can access this survey in English or Spanish at the website you see right there at the very bottom of your screen.
The Desert Water Agency is continuing to install a new water utility service for the Palm Springs College of the Desert campus. This Wednesday, October 9th, the water agency is getting rid of 3 existing water services, requiring a temporary shutdown of the water main on Baristo Road. Work starts at 2 a.m. and it's expected to run through the next 3 hours. All residents impacted by this temporary shutdown will be notified in advance through social media and even door-to-door outreach.
The Barkey Bash 2025 is taking place this Thursday. It's an annual fundraiser for Barkey LaRose House of Love. It's set to take place at the Palm Springs Surf Club. The nonprofit is a senior sanctuary and hospice, providing end-of-life love and care for more than 150 animals. The celebration will help senior dogs with local drag personality Ethelina Can. Special honors for Melody Farnick, the director of Animal Action League, and more. Every ticket sold for the event supports end-of-life care and sanctuary living for senior pups.
22 people were arrested, 9 guns seized following the Mongols biker gang gathering that took place this weekend in Palm Springs. About 1,000 members of the motorcycle club gathered for the group's annual national meeting. Palm Springs Police Chief Andrew Mills saying the Mongols met to elect a president. The gathering started on Friday at Hotel Zoso, drew a large law enforcement presence from multiple agencies. Names and details of those who were arrested were not immediately released.
Former Rancho Mirage council member and mayor Dana Hobart has died at the age of 93. Hobart served on the city council from 2002 to 2021 and was mayor 5 times. Played a key role in major city projects, including removing overhead power lines, stopping a proposed border expansion and helping annex the Agua Caliente Casino, bringing in $400,000 annually. He also led pension reforms that saved the city millions and helped establish the Rancho Mirage Observatory. Mayor Ted Wheel called him a pillar of Rancho Mirage, a man of vision, integrity, and extraordinary devotion.
A memorial date honoring Valley philanthropist Harold Matzner has been set for October 21st. The ceremony will take place at the McCallum Theater on the 21st at 5 o'clock, and a live stream will also be accessible online from Matzner's website. A reception will follow, giving friends, family members, and community leaders a chance to speak on Matzner's legacy here in the desert. Matzner was primarily known as the former chairman of the Palm Springs International Film Society and has donated over $70 million to local nonprofits since the year 2000.
Ballots are being mailed out starting today for the November 4th special election. One of the most talked about measures on that ballot is Proposition 50.
Our Alondra Campos breaks down what the measure does and what you need to know before Election Day.
It is officially election season in California, and Proposition 50 is front and center on this year's special election ballot. The measure proposes transferring redistricting authority from the current bipartisan commission to a newly formed legislative panel, appointed by state lawmakers for a temporary period of time. Here in the Coachella Valley, that could mean realignment of district boundaries. This move would shift Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, and La Quinta from Republican Ken Calvert's district to the 25th Congressional District, under the representation of Congressman and longtime Democrat Raul Ruiz. While Palm Springs and Indian Wells would fall under the 48th Congressional District, represented by Republican Darrell Issa. If approved, the measure could also impact cities across county borders, such as 29 Palms, which would also fall under Congressman Ruiz's district. On one hand, supporters say the move would ensure fairness.
California is doing a temporary measure that retains the independent commission that will gain 5 seats in order to nullify what Texas is doing so that it's fair across the nation.
On the other, opponents call it a political power grab.
Nothing the government ever does is really temporary. You know, how many tax measures that they implement are temporary? Once it's implemented, it stays forever. So we have really no reason to believe that this will be temporary.
The fight over Proposition 50 is not only political, it is also financial. According to the California Secretary of State, Proposition 50 has raised approximately $250 million, making it the third most expensive ballot measure in the history of California. Opponents of the redistricting measure are largely funded by just 2 major donors who contributed over 90% of the $77 million raised for the campaign. As Election Day approaches, here are key dates voters should keep in mind. Ballot drop boxes open as soon as October 7th, and the voter registration deadline is on October 20th. Although the special election will take place on November 4th, early in-person voting begins as soon as October 25th. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Alondra Campos.
Coming up next tonight, Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell's attempt at an appeal gets denied. We have details coming up right after the break.
Also, the Epson Tour Championship concluded this weekend, ending in a nail-biting battle. We have more on the tournament and the winner. That's coming up.
And here's a quick look at your gold and silver prices on this Monday evening. Those headlines and more right after the break.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to take up Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. The court made the announcement today. Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence for helping Jeffrey Epstein groom and abuse underage girls. Maxwell argued she was shielded from prosecution under Epstein's old Florida plea agreement. However, the justices let stand a lower court ruling that said the deal didn't cover New York, where Maxwell was charged and convicted. Maxwell's lawyers say they're disappointed, but they're planning on litigating a number of serious issues remaining in the case.
And we have some consumer news tonight. Foster Poultry Farms LLC has announced a recall of nearly 4 million pounds of chicken corn dog products. The Department of Agriculture says the product might be contaminated with foreign materials, specifically pieces of wood in the batter. The corn dogs are sold nationwide, including to the Department of Defense and USDA Commodity Foods donations. Officials say the California company received several complaints, at least 5 of which included customer injuries. Anyone with these products should return them to the place of purchase for a refund. More information is available on the USDA's website.
The electric vehicle market could take a big hit. Jen Sullivan has details on how this will impact the auto industry.
More Americans are buying electric cars. Last year, EV sales rose 7%, 3 times faster than non-electric cars, according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. But those sales could soon be slumping. That's because the $7,500 federal tax credit for new EV purchases expired on October 1st. Auto experts say it's a change that's going to shake up the entire EV market.
In the long run, I think it's going to make electric vehicles better because they now have to compete on an even playing field in terms of value, features, durability, and longevity.
Brian Moody with Cali Blue Book says EVs are typically more expensive. In August, the average transaction price for a new electric vehicle was more than $57,000. That's a lot more than the transaction price for all cars. Moody says those prices are higher because EV batteries are very expensive.
What automakers will likely do is offer some vehicles with a reduced battery, meaning that the range isn't as long, but the price isn't as high.
Moody also thinks automakers may be forced to lower their sticker prices. BMW is now doing just that, offering limited deals on EVs, and Stellantis is also offering specials on many of its electric models. EVs still may be a better deal for buyers.
Having an EV and charging an EV tends to be cheaper in the long run than a gasoline car.
Joseph Yoon with Edmunds says gas-powered cars are also more expensive to maintain. If you are in the market to buy an EV right now, experts recommend asking about charging stations for your home. You may have more negotiating power on the price, and a used EV may be the best deal. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Let's take a break from the headlines. Take a live look outside our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Pablo's in right after the break with your 7-day forecast.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
I'm Pablo Alsina. A beautiful night. Look at the Walter Clark cam, and the colors of the skies are changing. Today's going to be the harvest supermoon, day one of it, so make sure to go outside and see that gorgeous full moon. The sky's going to be totally clear. It's going to be a perfect night. Temperatures are going to be cooling down. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous night. Temperatures right now in Palm Springs, 92 degrees and 0.00% chance of rain. But later on in the week, we will have some rain. I'll have that in a few seconds. And as you see the current temperatures in the southwest, LA, where I just moved from, 68 degrees. San Diego, the same 68. Palm Springs leading the way, hottest in the area at 92. Temperatures right now in our area, Banning at 78, Palm Springs at 92, Desert Hot Springs 85, 29 Palms coming in at 83 degrees. So yeah, the temperature's finally going down. It's October. The next several months, just a perfect time to be here in the desert with the temperatures cooling. And the low temperatures for tonight, Big Bear City already 33 degrees, Banning at 55, Palm Springs will be a perfect 71, Idlewild at 53, Thousand Palms with a low of 65 degrees. The high temperatures for tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to see them go up. We had a high of 95. Well, tomorrow in Palm Springs, high of 97. In Palm Desert, flirting with triple digits at 99. I thought we were done with 100-degree heat. Maybe we'll see it again. As of now, Palm Desert, the hottest for tomorrow at 99 degrees. 29 Palms at 92 degrees. But a gorgeous night to go out walking. At midnight, it's going to be just 75 degrees. So go outside and see that harvest supermoon. But make sure to keep watching the Rogan report that's coming up after us. And then after that, go out for the little walk. Our 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. You see gorgeous, no rain Tuesday, Wednesday, but on Thursday, some cloud coverage. And on Friday, we will see a little bit of rain. I'm Pablo Alsina with your full weather forecast, and I'll be back early 6 a.m. tomorrow and 11 o'clock tonight as well.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
NBC Palm Springs Sports with Tim O'Brien, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Welcome back. Over the weekend, hundreds of LPGA hopefuls competed in the Epson Tour Championship at Indian Wells Golf Resort. Our Caitlin Kelly was there and has the highlights of the epic playoff finish.
It was the fourth and final day of the Epson Tour Championship in Indian Wells, the ultimate stop on the road to the LPGA. The stakes couldn't be higher, with the top 15 players earning their official LPGA Tour cards. But the spotlight belonged to two Americans, Ann Chen and Sophia Schubert, who finished regulation tied at 22 under par. What followed was a playoff for the ages. Hole after hole, the two battled under the desert sun, neither willing to give in. But on the fifth playoff hole, Ann Chen finally sealed the deal, capturing the championship title and capping off a dramatic finish to the 2025 Epson Tour Championship at Indian Wells.
Turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Played some good golf. I wasn't really thinking about it, so I was talking to my dad, walking down 18, I'm just going to enjoy the moment, and then we played another 5 holes, so it was a good time. I had a lot of fun with Sophia on the golf course. Dream come true, that's for sure. I didn't think it was possible, had some up and downs this year, actually, so it really is a dream come true for me.
With NBC Palm Springs, I'm Caitlin Kelly.
5-hole playoff. Can't ask for a better finish than that. Now, the latest episode of Firebirds Off the Ice, now on NBCPalmSprings.com. We learn more about the team and turn the page to a clean slate ahead of Season 4. Opening night is this Friday. You can be a part of the action. And, of course, tickets still available at cvfirebirds.com. Now, all of us here at NBC Palm Springs will be out at the arena all week long. Several promotional giveaways and fan events, from tickets to swag bags and merch. So you keep an eye out on where we'll be and at what times. Of course, you can get all that information on our website at NBCPalmSprings.com. Looking forward to Friday night, already opening night for Season 4. That'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Daniel Day-Lewis returns to acting in a new film directed by his son. Here's Rick Damigella.
All these years, the isolation. This is it. This is my life.
A man seeks out his brother who has spent years living as a hermit in Anemone.
How long was it, brother? When you went limping off into the woods.
The film marks the return of Daniel Day-Lewis after retiring from acting in 2017. The 3-time Oscar winner co-wrote the screenplay with his son Ronan, who directed the film.
Having written the script together, I think we had so many of these really exhaustive conversations down to, the minutia of the scenes and these kind of different moments on the characters' sort of emotional trajectories, that it felt like by the time we got on set, there wasn't that much that needed to be said, and we could kind of just be free to try things.
You're going to hell, brother. Family reunion.
Sean Bean portrays the brother.
It's certainly such a more enjoyable experience when you feel that there's a real rapport, there's a chemistry between the two of you that just leads on into a different realm, a different level of acting, which almost feels like not acting with, and that's what it felt like with Daniel.
I won't pretend I don't think about it from time to time, but this is it, Jem. This is my life.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
All right, it's time to carbo load because it is National Noodle Day. Noodles were invented in China around 4,000 years ago, and instant ramen noodles were invented in Japan in 1958. You can mark the day by trying to make your own noodles or make things easy. Go treat yourself, have a big plate. Oh man, maybe it's like some mac and cheese, get some ramen or some pho. That sounds delicious.
Got a favorite ramen spot?
I just came from San Francisco, and there was amazing ramen there, but I need to know the best one in Palm Springs.
Yeah, ramen. There's a few that you can stop
There's
by.
one next to Pete Carlson, I think, down the street in Palm Desert, but there's plenty of them. You got plenty of time to check it out. That's right. All right, that's going to do it for us. We're back here for the news at 11. Please join us for that. Meantime, we're going to send things over to Tim O'Brien. He's in for Fred Rogan tonight. He's got the latest with the Rogan Report.
All right, things to worry about when you fly. Getting to your destination safely, of course, hoping the oxygen masks never have to be used, and wondering whether your cushion would really work as a flotation device. Now add germs and lots of them to that list. It's the start of a new week, so welcome on into the Rogan Report. And as you see, I'm not Fred. Fred's out today, should return tomorrow. So I'm your humble substitute, Tim O'Brien. So let me ask you as we get into it tonight, what comes to mind when you think of Palm Springs? Whether you're a local or a visitor, you probably think maybe mid-century modern architecture, lush desert topography, the playground of the rich and famous, and rodents. Yeah, you heard me right, rodents. Palm Springs landed number 21 on the Terminix 2024 list of the top 50 U.S. cities with the worst rodent problems. That's a few spots up from last time, and folks are feeling a little uneasy about it. Rats and mice around town, chewing wires, raiding trash cans, sneaking into homes. Some blame weather, some point at lax pest control or trash management. Either way, residents are like, all right, well, what now? Well, we love the Rat Pack, but this is taking it just a little too literally. As we always do, we'll bring in our contributors tonight, DJ and promoter, that's Alan Alderizio, and of course Aaron, and CEO of FG Creative, Stephanie Green. Now, both of you, thanks for joining us. Stephanie, ladies first, we'll start with you. So it's certainly not great for tourism by any means, and if you live there, it's even worse. But at what point does the city step in and take some serious action, or is it even their problem?
Well, number one, let's start with it's number 21, not number one. And I think the headline was a little deceiving as we do live in a desert and we have rodents, we have animals. I think everyone should take care of their property, do the best that they can, like working with the Terminix, and maybe more people are doing that. So that's why the numbers are up. And the city should work on those public spaces. And frankly, I think the cities spend a lot of time on that too. So there's more people, there's more trash, there's more rats.
Aaron, what do you think?
I agree. It's the desert. There's critters everywhere. You kind of have to expect that. That said, I don't really see many rodents around. I see way more lizards and a couple snakes and things of that nature. But I don't know if rabbits are considered rodents. I see those like jackrabbits sometimes, and they're kind of cute, actually.
Oh, this next question, I'd imagine I know both of your answers, but they say that rodents can spread 35 diseases to humans and animals. How much of that will affect whether or not you visit Palm Springs? I don't know that that's affect really anybody's tourism to come here, Stephanie.
How could it when the other cities are New York, Chicago, LA, and the most famous cities in the country, and we don't stop going there because they have, rodent problems? I think it's a silly way to approach this headline. Not a fan of ramping up fear when there's really no fear to be had. And the diseases, that's probably minimal compared to what other diseases you can catch in this world. Living and being alive is a little dangerous. But Aaron, what do you think about that?
I agree with you. I mean, most urban areas you go to, you're way more likely to see a rat or something running around in public. And I'm way more concerned here about people like the Canadians not coming rather than people not coming because of rodents in the city.
All right, Stephanie and Aaron, just sit tight, just getting started. We can't avoid it, right? We've got cameras, they're everywhere. Every little move is being watched. It's the new way of the world, and facial recognition technology keeps creeping into more and more spaces. You walk into a shop, you board a plane, log into your bank, or scroll through your social media feed, and chances are you might be asked to scan your face. All right, so are we seeing dangerous technological overreach or the future of security? And what does it mean for families, especially when even children are expected to prove their identity with nothing more than their face? Researchers worry we're heading into a place where children are especially vulnerable because your face is, quote, always on display. Now, the data collected can't be changed or reset like a password. What's more now is the technology is not foolproof. Misidentifying people, certainly a real problem. Imagine being wrongfully placed on a watch list because of a facial recognition error. That could certainly happen. Now, your face could even influence insurance or loan approvals, with algorithms drawing conclusions about your health, reliability based on photo or video. Now, the question we need to answer is where we draw the line between reckless implementation and mandatory use. Now, as technology marches forward, remember, your face is yours and yours alone. Next time you're asked to scan, really think about the consequences, and it's certainly okay to say no. It's okay to protect what privacy you have left. In public, we may be exposed, but always remember your face is your moneymaker. Ain't that the truth? Protect it. All right, have you ever RSVP'd? All right, that's RSVP'd rather to a wedding. Yes, we've all said yes, but then not gone, right? I don't know that I've ever done that. But if you were a friend of the bride from this story, you would have paid for that if you no-showed. Not only receiving those emails and texts from the jilted bride, but an actual bill from her. This is unbelievable. The bride got roasted online for trying to charge no-show wedding guests for the meals they missed. She argued that it helps cover the cost of unused seats, but some guests called it, quote, tacky, saying weddings are supposed to be invitations, not invoices. Now, the internet's split. Some say fair play, others say you never charge your own guest. So we'll bring our contributors back in. And Stephanie, you get this bill because you missed the wedding. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really torn on this because I know, they spend way too much money on their weddings, but they do spend a lot of money. And I know when I have a big party or have handled big events and you order the food appropriately and then people just drop out for no good reason, I didn't feel like coming, it's a lot of money that's wasted. So I'm on the fence. I really don't know which way I would lean on that.
What do you say, Aaron?
I mean, I think it's rude to ghost someone at a wedding you've RSVP'd for. They're spending a lot of money on it. That said, I think you kind of have to plan when you are paying for the wedding that some people aren't going to be able to make it. And end of the day, it's not going to be that big of a percentage of your guests if you're inviting people that are your good friends and family, as you should be. So I think sending an invoice is a little extreme.
Yeah, I'm torn on it too. I feel like if it's like your best friend and his bride or her groom, then okay, maybe it's a little different. But if it's like your mom's vet's cousin that every family has to invite, then I'd say you send that invoice and hope you get it. But on a scale from tacky to extremely savvy, Stephanie, where's the bride fall?
I think it falls right in the middle because, again, I'm not quite sure what I would do, but I would say maybe stop inviting the random peripheral people.
Yes. Aaron?
Again, yeah, I'm with that completely. If you're that concerned about how much you're spending on it, which you should be, unless you're loaded, don't expect to be able to send an invoice if people don't show up. You have to be reality based.
If you haven't seen them in the last year, they don't make the cut. Sorry, I don't care who you are. Moving right along, many people believe we're too hard on Riverside County Animal Services. Others think we're doing it right by calling out issues and what we see as solutions to problems that have plagued animal services for years, maybe even decades. But we've always said if they move in the right direction, we'll let you know. Well, it looks like they've made a move, and it's definitely in the right direction. Starting last Thursday, the shelters in Jurupa Valley, San Jacinto, and Coachella have extended their weekday hours so folks have a better shot at seeing adoptable pets or reuniting with lost ones. Fred has always said on this show that the shelter should be open when everyday people can get there. Most people work, which made getting to the shelter during their former hours nearly impossible. Now, the shelter will now be open from 11 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday, and the shelter will be closed on Monday. Our biggest complaint has always been the euthanasia rate. Stephanie, what kind of impact do you think this will have on that?
I think it will have a very good impact. I heard that news and I was incredibly proud of them. And I know that the second part of this is why did it take them so long to listen to this simple instruction? But I will tell you, hiring people in this economy is very tough. Nobody wants to work and nobody wants to clean up dog poop. So, I say thumbs up and good job and keep it up.
Your thoughts, Aaron?
I agree with Stephanie. Again, I think, this show's done so much work to get them to change their policies. And the fact they're finally doing it is a step in the right direction. And I don't want to criticize them for that. Hopefully, with these extended hours, people that have to work until 5 or kids that are in school with their parents that work until 5 will have the opportunity to go see more pets and save more animals' lives.
Aaron, we'll stay with you here. Why do you think it took so long for them to make what appears to be a pretty simple change? Was it just someone waiting for someone else to make that decision?
I mean, most of my information on it is based on the extensive reporting the show has done. So it sounds like it was not a priority to them at all until Fred and the Rogan Report and the rest of the community started speaking up about it. So it is a shame it took so long, but applause to Fred and everyone there for, making this happen.
When shelters make changes like this, Stephanie, how much should community feedback drive which shift they try first?
I think community feedback should definitely drive change, which it has. And Aaron, I think you pointing it out in such a great way was really good. But, they're a business also, and they know how to run their business. So they are going to look at them all and hopefully prioritize and do the ones that can be done effectively and efficiently. I hope that's what's happening over there. And I think they're really trying. And at the end of the day, they are not bad people. They don't want to kill animals any more than we do. So, if you care that much, go volunteer because they obviously need staff.
Well, and kudos, of course, to contributors like yourselves and everyone involved here. Certainly helped push. The community feedback certainly was the driver behind all this. Now, while the animals in the shelter wait to find their forever homes, baby Frenchie Roscoe had found his until he was abducted from his front yard at his home in Desert Hot Springs. Well, Ariana reached out to let us know that he was taken from her yard on Nanham Drive in Desert Hot Springs. It happened on September 29th between 4:40 and 5:30 p.m. Witnesses say a woman walked up to the yard, pet Roscoe, then grabbed him and walked onto Louise Drive. Now, Ariana has been up and down the street knocking on doors, but no luck. Roscoe, a Frenchie who is black all around his body and brown and tan on his legs. Each of his paws has 2 black marks on his toes right before the nails. He has a white mark on his chest and is brown and tan around his butt as well as in between his back legs. So if you've seen Roscoe or have any information about his whereabouts, please reach out. You can send Fred an email, of course, desertdean@gmail.com. Well, if you can get to the shelter and foster or adopt or help find Roscoe, that constitutes you being a good neighbor. All right, here we go. Anna from Bermuda Dunes saying, I love my pool, but the surface around the pool gets very hot. It's extremely slippery and dangerous. Is there something that can be done without breaking the bank? James in Cathedral City looking for a good handyman to take care of some odd jobs at the Date Palm Country Club. Annie and her husband in Indian Wells looking for a fitness coach, and they would like some recommendations. And Liz in Palm Desert flying away for the weekend. She wants to know if anyone that's left their car at the airport, how much did it cost you? Come on, be good neighbors. Help each other out.
Can we agree to disagree? Can we agree you'll tell us what you think? Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
I really wouldn't sit there. Oh, welcome back. We have great viewers, always keeping their eyes out for things affecting the valley. So when we got this message from Larry, we were really surprised that something like this was even going on. Take a look. All right, here we go. I'm seeing an increase in the number of photocopies of handicap placards on dashboards. Not only is this disrespectful to those that have the legal right to park in a handicap space, it's illegal to use a photocopy of one. Faking handicap placards certainly pretty low. You've got to be pretty crappy human to take spaces from people who actually need them. So we thought we'd find out how often this is actually happening here in the valley. We reached out to the Palm Springs Police Department. They let us know that a third-party vendor handles their parking enforcement. They reached out to one of their leads to get input on the scenario, but they have not received a call back. Then they spoke with their dispatch center regarding similar calls, but looks like they don't get a lot of those fake placard calls after all. So Larry, the next time you see one of those copied handicap placards, give the police or sheriff a call. The only way to fix the problem is to stop the people from gaming the system. All right, let me ask you this. How often do you fly? Do you ever think about how many other behinds have hit that same seat you're about to crash out in for a few hours? Do you ever think how often are they actually cleaned? A group of airline passengers did swab tests on plane seats and found all kind of gross stuff, germs, bacteria, you name it. Folks are now swearing off flying because of it. The test results got freaked out. Reactions on social media all sent it through the roof, with some saying they'll never fly again unless airlines clean better. Airlines are scrambling to respond, saying they do deep cleans, but also pointing out how many people touch seats, trays, armrests. That's certainly tough to keep up. So I'll bring in Stephanie and Aaron again. And Stephanie, how does this make you feel about your next flight?
No opinion about it. I've been flying my whole life. The world is messy and crowded. People touch things, and wear a long sleeve shirt, wear pants, wear socks. If you're that worried about it, I have a friend who brings sanitary wipes on, and she'll wipe her seat down and she'll wipe stuff down. But you know what? A little germ, they don't really hurt me, so I'm good.
Helps the immune system, they say. Aaron, your thoughts?
Again, I agree with Stephanie. If you're that concerned, take all the precautions you can. I realize it's different for everyone, but I mean, do these people never go to restaurants?
Yep.
Shop in a grocery store, touch things other humans have handled. It's just part of life. Be hygienic and you'll be as good as you can be.
If we saw probably some of the kitchens at our favorite restaurants, if we played this game mentally all the time, we'd be questioning everything. Should airlines be held to stricter cleanliness standards or transparency when it comes to hygiene, Stephanie?
No, if they're already handling it to a level that we've accepted all these years, I'm perfectly fine. Let's not make the company spend a lot more money. Frankly, those people who are worried, stay home. I'll get their seat. So I'm happy.
Aaron?
They're doing a fine job. It's the same as it's always been. And that industry is in so much turmoil right now anyway. Let's not throw another thing for them to worry about into the fire.
And they do hand wipes out now when you come on board. They've done that for several years. So just wipe it down. It's fine. Airplanes aren't the only dirty things, though. Aaron, when was the last time you deep cleaned your car?
Well, I just got a new car 2 months ago, so I haven't deep cleaned it yet.
Aaron and Stephanie, thank you so much for hanging out this evening. Always a pleasure. We'll talk soon. When we return, though, there's been a lot of talk lately about the immigrant experience in America. Fred speaks with Amaya, our community reporter, about her experience. Oh, welcome back. Our community reporter, Amaya D'Souza, was in last week. She sat down with Fred to talk. Take a look.
Maya, welcome back. So what are we talking about tonight?
So honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to talk about this week. And I just was like, well, I've talked about this. This is overdone. Like, I feel like all we're hearing about in the news is like almost the same couple topics, which, not to diss anyone, I understand that's what's relevant. But yesterday when I was just going about my classes, I just kind of sat back and reflected on everything that I do specifically in school. And during lunch, I had a meeting for a club that I co-founded with another one of our community reporters, Leah Kakar. And this time last year, she asked me to come on and co-found this club. It's a cultural society. It's South Asian Cultural Association.
All right.
And I've never really talked about my roots on here, but I am not only an immigrant, but I'm also Indian. And so my parents have experienced the immigration process twice now. And a lot of my childhood, I grew up in government offices, and I've driven to the borders, and I've underwent the whole green card process.
All right.
And in these experiences that are honestly very unique to myself, I never really saw that there was a community, specifically in high school, of kids who've also experienced that, or kids who also have immigrant parents, or those who come from South Asian descent. And I was just kind of sitting back at our meeting, and we were discussing a South Asian relevant person in the media, which this meeting was focusing on Charlie XCX, who's a very famous singer and songwriter. And it was just interesting because among accolades and among all the things that you do as a person, a lot of times we forget to just kind of hone back and remember where we came from, and remember our roots. And, you know, I wouldn't be here today without the support of my parents and my family back in India and my family back in Canada. And so it's really just interesting for me to be on here and like have this opportunity, because I know my family was not able to have this opportunity when they were kids.
You know, I think that is very well said and really very deep. I think it's easy for people to forget and appreciate who they are or where they've come from. And I think if you do, does that make you more fulfilled?
I think that it does, but it's not easy to do. It's a lot easier said than done. I think that inherently we get ahead of ourselves. You know, it's been a long week. It's been an even longer day. And sometimes I feel like whether it's once a day or once a month, you just kind of gotta reflect, and you got to sit back and understand everything and what led to who you are today.
Great advice. Always good seeing you. We'll talk next week.
Of course. Thank you.
Far beyond her years. I wasn't that mature. I'm still not that mature. 20-something years older. When we return, the Riddler checks in.
Hey, riddle me this. I'm lighter than a feather, yet can sink a ship. What am I?
With temperatures rising, some suffer from excessive sweating.
Please towel off before writing the show.
Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Rogan or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
I'm lighter than a feather, yet can sink a ship. What am I? A hole.
If you missed anything, go to the website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Wheel of Fortune is next.